Okay, and also upcoming this weekend, we've got Daniel Dubois versus Oleksandr Usyk in an undisputed heavyweight title fight. Of course, this is a rematch. They fought earlier in their careers a few years ago, both Usyk and Dubois. Of course, in that fight, it was marred by controversy where Dubois arguably landed the low blow and should have maybe stopped Usyk if that punch wasn't a low blow, but it was regarded a low blow, and Usyk recovered and then went on to stop um, Daniel Dubois, which in of itself is a very big accomplishment. I mean, if it was a low blow, it didn't look like a low blow. He didn't get hit on the nuts. Was it below the belt? Probably. But did he get hit on the balls? No. So, you know what I mean? In my opinion, it is a bit of a shaky one. It is. Um, but ultimately, Usyk won that fight. He was winning the fight. And Dubois had his moments for sure. But of course, for the most part, was getting outboxed until he landed that big punch on him, on Usyk. Now, how do I think a rematch is going to go? Honestly, I think it'd be more of the same. I think Usyk's probably going to outbox Daniel Dubois. He's going to outland him. He's going to drag him into deep waters. Of course, I don't care who you are. At 38, you're not in your prime. Whereas Daniel Dubois is a lot nearer his prime, probably in his prime right now, and is a huge puncher, probably the biggest puncher in the division. Bigger than AJ, bigger than who? Who else? I mean, who else do you want to put in there? Bigger than Chisora. He probably punches bigger than Moses Eto'o. He punches bigger than all these guys. He's a harder puncher than all of these guys. So if you're a 38-year-old Usyk who's been in there for years and years and years, going through these 12-round fights for years and got all those miles on the clock, and you're now getting hit by in his prime, hardest puncher in the heavyweight division, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough night for you. Can you take those shots at 38 the same way you took those shots at 35, 34? Can you? History suggests probably not. History suggests probably not. But like I said, I always like to go with the better boxer when making these predictions. When all else fails, when you come to the world level, and it's a matter of inches, it, the chance that Daniel Dubois lands a big punch, of course, it's heavily there. But also the chance that Dubois maybe doesn't land that big punch. Maybe Usyk this time has learned from his mistakes, has worked out Daniel Dubois even more, and is just even more elusive. It's very possible too. We've seen Usyk he improves in rematches. He improves in rematches, and of course, you look at the AJ rematch, and at that point, you saw a better AJ in the second fight than you did in the first fight. So, of course, that fight was going to be more difficult for Usyk, but Usyk still won that fight. And then, of course, we saw huge improvements from the fight against Tyson Fury, where he nearly stopped Tyson Fury as well. Had him on the ropes. Certain refs would have stepped in there, given him a standing 8 count. So don't get it twisted. It's not like Usyk's got pillow hands. I definitely wouldn't say that at all. Usyk's definitely not got pillow hands, and he's definitely going to come to punch as well. I'm going to go with Usyk to retain the undisputed heavyweight title. At that point, I think I don't know who Usyk fights next because the heavyweight division really isn't that stacked. I mean, maybe I'll make a video about that. Who's to fight Usyk next? Of course, we're hearing a Tyson Fury trilogy. I haven't made a video about that, but apparently that's confirmed. I'll make a video about that more specifically about what I think about that. But if it's getting to that point where we're seeing him do, 2 fights against AJ, 2 fights against Dubois, and then a third Fury fight, and if he wins that, then you're like, he may as well just retire. Like, he's run through this division. He's run through the best guys this division's got multiple times at this point, right? But yeah, overall, I think Dubois causes problems. It's definitely still a big power puncher, and probably punches even harder this time around than he did in the first fight. But like I said, I always like to go with the better boxer, and Usyk's shown he's one of the best boxers ever at this point. At heavyweight, at cruiserweight, wherever, amateurs, pros, world champions, whoever, he's one of the best, one of the absolute best, and I do think he will beat Daniel Dubois in the rematch this weekend. But I'd be super curious to know what you guys think. I wouldn't be surprised if Dubois catches Usyk and ends this run. It could happen. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. But yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.